Yeah.
I'm Semti and I'm Santi and you say the rest.
Wait, what?
Yeah, instantly after GLL Season 2, basically I left from FaZe and joined Team Liquid. And since then we have started like practicing with Team Liquid and playing in like tournaments and all that stuff. It's been really good.
Yeah, and in FaZe, Jemti and they had a different playstyle than we have in Liquid now. So we have to like Jemti needs to adapt in our game style as well. We don't like in FaZe they play more edge, like in the circles. We like to play in the middle, so we don't like take that many like unnecessary fights, I guess. And yeah,
I mean, of course it's nice to play with Champ because we haven't like played like in same team for years, but it wasn't the main reason that I wanted to join Liquid.
I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but like we have been doing the best. At least this year we have been doing like the best. We are the best performing team on LAN, at least on LAN tournaments. Sometimes you see like hate coming towards us because everyone expects us to win, but it's PUBG. PUBG player, everyone has to like. Every pro player has to know that you can't win every game in PUBG because it's not like that.
I mean, there's so many teams here now on GLL Season 3 Finals that haven't played on LAN yet, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna perform. Of course, goal is winning, and I think the GLL LAN is pretty cool. Like they always bring out the new stuff, and now like this LAN they have that if you win one game you're gonna get like extra money. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good system because even if it's last game and you can't win the tournament or win any higher prize money, you can still win the bonus thing by winning one game. So I really like the system.
Hello, I'm Semti.
Hi, I'm Santi. We are here to play table football.
Yeah, that's so much better.
Welcome back to the GLL Season 3 Finals, coming to you live from Stockholm. I'm Frankie Ward, and I've got Toffee, Scoom, and Avenger on the desk. Now, before the break, we saw a 32 show match between the teams we coined Whatface and PogChamp. And Whatface, the boys in blue, brought it home. But they won't be bringing that trophy home because, to be honest, it was just a warm-up. It was just for bragging rights, boys. But right now, the real competition is about to begin. Now, yesterday we played 5 maps. We had 2 on Miramar, and then we had 3 on Erangel. We're reversing that today, so we're going to start off with 2 on Erangel, and I'm going to have 3 on Miramar. I have a feeling some of the teams might not be too comfortable with that, Scoom.
Yeah, I think some teams prefer obviously either Miramar or Erangel, so today it's going to be more Miramar heavy. But it's definitely going to start on Erangel, and yeah, I'm curious to see if the teams at the top can maintain that and carry on being at the top of the leaderboard. And those teams that are struggling at the bottom of the leaderboard, see if they can actually bring it up. As Toffee said earlier today, they need to bring it up on day 2. Day 2 is the one that matters.
Well, Skim, you mentioned the top of the leaderboard, and FaZe, seemingly with the departure of Jemti, have broken their day 1 curse. They are comfortably at the top at the moment. Do you think that can sustain, and why do you think they managed to get there so soon this time around?
Yeah, I think they can sustain. I mean, they have FastFace and Mexi, who are just 2 veterans in the game, and they're so experienced, and pretty much all of the LAN performances they've had in 2018 have been top 5, so they have a lot of experience, and their performance yesterday was incredible. I mean, 80 on Twitter posted it. He said on game 2, they saw the circle in Miramar and they knew exactly that they wouldn't be able to go and swim across. So what they did, they went just for max kills. They wanted to get as many points as possible, wipe out everyone in the main island. and then just dying because there was no way of crossing. But that's FaZe's strategy that they've been doing yesterday. They've just been going for kills. Whenever they didn't get circles, they were just wiping teams. We saw that in the Quarry game in Erangel. The circles shifted far north, and they just said, okay, we're just going to clear our whole side and then try to push in. And we saw FaZe clutching out, actually getting a 1v2 situation, and then he almost made it in, but got eliminated. And it's just their playstyle. It seemed to be with Uber, they're playing way more aggressive, and it seems to be working out for them. And on the other side, on the flip side of such strategy is Team Liquid. Team Liquid pretty much have had almost the same performance in terms of placements as FaZe. They've had like 3 decent games and 2 bad games, but we haven't really seen much of them because they've been playing more for placements. Whenever they lose players, they just seem to be going as better as possible in the position and playing for that. So they have less kills than FaZe, but it's just fun to see the 2 different playstyles working out.
It was interesting because in a VT before we came back from the break, we did see Samty and Jemty talking, and Jemty mentioned he was really desperate to join Team Liquid, but Samty said, well, actually, he's needing to adapt to Liquid's playstyle. He's not allowed to go and frag out. He's having to be a little bit more drawn in, and I'm wondering if he's quite got the Liquid way yet, Toffees, because he didn't really impressed on the killing side yesterday.
I mean, he'll get there. It's a definite transition to what he used to do, and I think that you brought it up well. Liquid plays a defensive game, and you know, FaZe is almost like takes a book out of or a page out of Randolph Thor's book. This idea that sometimes you've got to let someone stab you in order to kill them, and I think that that's what they've been doing. This sort of counter aggression. You can take one of mine, but we're going to take all of yours, and it's working. Jemty just has to go through that transition process to change his mindset, and once he gets there, he's going to be very strong.
I'm so sorry, I just got the giggles because Martin's been given a microphone and he looks like he's about to give a Father of the Bride speech. And it's an absolutely beautiful thing. And Martin, as you do have that microphone, I want to talk to you about Accelerate. I know we briefly spoke about them yesterday because they are a fairly new team in terms of being at a LAN like this. They haven't got chicken dinner yet, though. And I'm just wondering, do you think they can step it up today? Because what we've seen so far is promising, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the main things from them is their fragging capabilities. Rostamar is the highest damage dealer right now. He has more than 2,200 damage, but only with 8 kills. So it's really, really impressive to see that from him. And I think just their consistent placement so far shows them that they deserve to be here. And I hope for them that they're going to get a win today, hopefully. Yeah.
And meanwhile, let's take a look at the leaderboard. On screen right now, Toffee's Team Unique in second place. Looking like they may be the ones to continue that CIS legacy of winners here at GLL.
I mean, Unique's looking good, but when I chatted with them, they have something that is a little bit unique about them. They don't have a dedicated IGL. They say all of them sort of make the calls together, which can be good, and they say when it works wonderfully and is magic, but my worry for them, Scoom, is 4 voices can sometimes become a cacophony of just of white noise, and they said it's happened before, so the question is, can you for 3 days maintain that 4 voices at once without having trouble? And I don't know, you guys have played at that level. What happens when 4 players start talking at the same time?
I mean, when we originally made the Liquid roster with James, EB, myself, and Samty, that was one of the main issues we had at the very beginning, because all of us was pretty much giving calls, and we were all in a. When it worked out, it worked perfectly. Like we saw in Starlight Season 2, we went in a 4-win streak. You know, when we were getting circles, we were just all on the same page and stuff like that. But when you get into bad decisions or decisions you need to make on the fly, it's much tougher, and you need to have that final call. And eventually, it did go over to James or Samty, and depending on the situation, if it was mid game or late game, and I've definitely think the teams need to adapt to it. I think it's really good that Unique have 4 people giving calls, but it definitely needs to be one guy, especially in the late game when you need to make that crucial fast decision to say, let's go, and he makes a call.
I feel like also, everyone, when you get to the 4th phase or the 5th phase, everyone needs to be able to make a call or give information that is only available to that one player. But I definitely think we're coming to a position in the game or kind of in a meta in the game where you can have one guy calling the strats in the beginning, the rotations and everything, and then when you go into the micro game, then no need for micromanagement. Everybody just needs to be able to make a call that is based on, you can be 4 corners of the maps, and then one guy can say, we need to go here because I have this information available to me.
And I think it's strong
And
to have,
trust that call.
It's good to have that one overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of the rule, right? I've heard of teams who even use like safe words. In one tournament, they were like, well, we have a safe word that if anybody says something and then uses this word, everyone just follows that no matter what, because they truly believe this is the right call. But like United's a great example. Taylor J tends to always want to fight, right? So he's willing to take off, and they trust him most of the time to make those calls. But if Pistola ever calls out, stop, they know that that's the call. If Pistola makes the final word, you back off and you do what you need to. And so I think it's finding the mid-ground between the chaos and the order that really makes PUBG great, because that's what makes our game great, right? The sort of living in the chaotic moments and surviving that sets the great teams apart from the good teams.
Exactly.
Are you ready to see those great and goods divided, boys?
Yes.
Great news, because Froz and Demon are ready for us to cast our first game of the day on Erangel.
Yes, thank you very much. So we're on to the actual games now. We've gone past the fun. I've had a little breather. It was a little chaotic, that game. It was probably the best show match ever, I think. So we're back to normal. We're back to normal. So there's a couple of teams, if you're looking at the table, we were obviously just talking about it, that they need to step up. You think of Wildcard, they were the top NA qualifier, kind of had a rough day yesterday. Was it down to the fact they played late duo wingman tournament? Don't know. Dignitas also way down the bottom. NIP had a bad showing. They were the second place qualifier for Europe as well. So some of these teams know that they've had a bad day, and this really right here is how they step it up. Game one is when you really want to bring it.
Yeah, I mean, I talked with some of the NA teams, and most of them actually was a little bit jet lagged. So, I mean, that could have a factor into it as well. They fly in, and adjust yourself from the west to the east is harder than from the east to west, because then you just need to stay up. Now you need to go to bed earlier to get yourself ready.
Force yourself to sleep effectively. Yeah, it's a problem that affects everyone, and obviously. It's all about who can adapt the best. Fuzzface certainly is doing well. Top of the table, 15 kills for him. And you can see FaZe with 3 members all in that top 5 as well. Samty in there. And Standard, Team Unique, a team that did very well yesterday. They got a first and a second in their last 4th and 5th game of the day. Very nearly got 2 firsts. Could have been the first to get 2 chicken dinners back to back. We were talking yesterday about CIS winners. I mean, that is GLL, right?
Yeah.
You had Team Groovy, which went on to become Navi. In Season 1. Season 2 was obviously picked up by M19 in that last gasp game. Team Unique could be that team to go on and do it. They were the top CIS qualifier. They were 3rd CIS qualifier, right? Red Diamond as well, who were literally opposite them.
Yeah.
Also picked up a chicken dinner yesterday, albeit on the madness that was Game 2. But they did pick themselves up a second chicken dinner as well. So, the CIS region has always delivered at GLL Finals, and we could see it again.
I mean, they have the potentials, and the thing is, they only had 3 spots into the finals, so make it less chance for them to win if you look at percentage-wise compared to EU and NA. But they are doing good right now. I mean, they don't have the jet lag issues maybe as much, but the EU teams, they can't blame them that either.
Another team I want to talk about, see how it's going to develop, is Team Liquid. Obviously, they were just talking about on the board, and the fact is, they had a fairly average day yesterday, but they're still 4th. They're still 4th on the table, very much in shouting distance of the top.
I mean, we see Liquid, they dominate the first day, maybe second day as well, and then it just drops down on the last day. But that's when FaZe comes back, usually. Now, maybe it's turned around. Maybe it's the FaZe who gets the first days and Liquid the last days.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually, while Dignitas, obviously, we're talking about they didn't have a great day yesterday. Yeah, may well be jet lag. This is the first LAN for that lineup, right? Because obviously they changed Wookie Bookie and Gustav due to the rulings that came in for the MPL next year. You have to have 3 minimum NA-based players. Obviously, they had 2 Danes in there, so they've had to change that around. And obviously, there's always going to be a betting period, right, for the new guys, and it's going to take time. Envy, also a team that fragged out like crazy in the online league the first 6 weeks, but didn't really hit the stride yesterday. Just kept bumping into Wildcard.
Yeah, but also look at Accelerate. It's the first LAN, I'm pretty sure. So might have the LAN jitters as well.
But they're doing all right? They're like second, third, something like that.
They're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty
very
good.
much up there. They had a decent game, a couple of games actually. They are in third place at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely we're pushing it. I think they're game 4, they were even with FaZe, and obviously FaZe had that 15 kill game. The last game, despite the fact they didn't win it, they finished about 6th in the end, but they still had 15 kills, so it launched them up the points. NIP though, they really need to step it up today. This is the day they need to deliver, of course. This is their first LAN under the organization of Ninjas in Pajamas. Of course, they used to be welcome to South George when they got their 2nd place at PGI. So definitely a team that we know can deliver. The question is, will they deliver? Obviously, we are in Stockholm. It's the home of NIP. They're going to have to try and step it up. Otherwise, Heaton may well turn up here in the GLL studios and have something to say for him. And he's a big dude you don't want to mess with, that's for sure. The plane you can see straight over the top of Sauber, down over Gatka. It is a very northern plane. It's going to be a problem for the likes of FaZe Clan looking to get into Milta Power. Novo has been a place that a couple of teams have been going towards as well. Nobody really going to Sosnovka of late, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see some adjustments from some of the teams.
Well, the first day they had yesterday, I mean, they could just like try to do what everyone feel on the teams, because as we mentioned yesterday as well, most of the teams doesn't play against each other as much. Now they had the whole first day to fill it out, make sure, okay, how do the other teams plays it?
Is it United thinking of challenging Pachinki with Team Ready?
Oh, it looks like it. But look at Team Ready, they're actually going for a Gaka split more or less.
Envy, of course, were also going south at one point. They may be thinking, let's adjust and go ferry pair. Unique were going down Novo a number of times, also look to be making that adjustment. So, going to be a battle for vehicles. El Giganten, of course, were usually West Coast as well, almost the tempo loop we used to call it. And also, as you're just pointing out on the map, in South George, Red Diamond challenging out with NIP. It is Play With Me we're going to follow down, though. Of course, dropping in. Not got the adjustments on the parachutes yet. You guys might be trying out on the test servers. Looking forward to that. Just that extra added bit of skill that can be added in. And looks like they're going to be swinging it in. So Venerated, looks like they're all trying to go ferry pair. I wonder if they're going to grab vehicles and go over the river. I guess it depends on the first circle. We'll see it dropping in a sec.
Yeah, we saw the first circle. It's going to go to the northeast there. So you're not going to want to go to Military Island maybe. It could be a strategy.
Looks like
to do
NVR
it anyway.
though. NVR look like they're going over Sosnovka.
I mean, that is their home, so they want to go there. They know how to play from there. They know how they're supposed to be rotating. They got the strategies down already. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt you that much. It would be even worse if the circle was a little bit more to the south and a team actually would play edge.
And what helps them is there's nobody Milta either. So obviously FaZe look like they're heading still Milta Power, but nobody is going into Milta. Besiktas Esports, there's a team obviously there that are unaffected by the plane path. They are up in Saverny. Formerly the Diamond Dogs, they qualified as picked up by the Besiktas Esports organization in around about week 5. Great to see these guys on LAN. A number of them former Peds Esports, so a number of them former teammates of yours, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Simsir, Ultra, me, and James used to play with Penta, so I know them really well. I mean, we still talk and play from time to time, and it's great to see that they got picked up a org, and I mean, also made it here to the GLL finals as well.
Yeah, a lot of experience in that team. Great to see them picking back up. Red Diamond splitting between Crates and Hospital. Obviously, they know full well that NIP are going to be in front bat 6 and covering sort of all of that South George area. So they've kept a respectable distance, but I will say, I believe Gaxi is the one that usually goes over to Crates, right?
Yeah.
So it is going to be affecting NIP's loot strat, but I don't think it's going to affect them too badly.
I mean, same MBS in this case now, but Lawson used to go to their hospital back when they had him, for example, and they tried to split the loot a little bit, so now they're all in South George all together. It might be a little bit harder to get all the loot you actually want, but they should get enough. They got it for themselves right now. They don't need to worry too much about it.
Do you think Avangard have thought of like the final games yesterday and just said, we're going back to North George? Because they had 2 circles there right up in the north and they weren't there. Now they've gone, right, okay, let's go to North George. Oh, for crying out loud. It's gone all the way over the east. But yeah, you can see, looks like Accelerate, obviously Squeaky kind of in their usual loop path, so they're in prime position for this one. It is a fairly far east circle, of course. Second circle could phase and switch anywhere. At the moment, though, I'm looking at areas like where, almost where Kramer is at Mansion, where Heaven is as well, and the compounds in and around there. That's prime central territory, you feel, for the next circle, and maybe give you that little 2-2 north-south split.
I mean, I'd say Hilltop, the backflip hill there, would be the greatest right now. You get to have a lot of vision all around you. You can scout around. You can take shots at people if you want to, but most importantly, you can keep your vehicle safe. Make sure that you can have those vehicle rotations for the next circle.
Okay, Ganson, of course, were spread a little too close, I would say, to Team Ready. Team Ready themselves, as you mentioned, they've kind of been going around this area, but also Pachinki. Nobody's really taken hold of Pachinki, which has kind of surprised me so far, especially after 3 games yesterday. You know, looking at the VODs, you think, okay, let's just take charge of that, because there's a lot of loot to be had in Pachinki, and at the moment, it is literally, I think it's just Pistola time. E-United actually, I think, have all gone in there now. Have they maybe decided to take charge of Pachinki? It looks like, I mean, they're right next to us. It looks like, I'm looking at the map stream. If you want to check it out, by the way, map.gll.gg. Interactive map. You can follow exactly what is going on, what team you maybe just want to follow in there, or whether you want to stick to one or get the overall view. A beautiful death may well be the first man to go down here. His car getting lit up, and that pesky white fence blocking his exit as he tries to get out of Gatka.
Hey, you know what? They actually added our faces as emotes on the GLL Twitch.
Nice, nice.
So, I mean, there you go. If you want to use our faces, make sure to subscribe to GLL. I mean, you can use that Twitch Prime, you know?
I feel so happy in that.
Oh, Dave got a tier 2?
I see how it is.
What?
Dave's a tier 2? Oh, damn. Got to get that mustache in there for that level 2 action. But, yeah, okay, so Dignitas have chosen to take the high ground.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got so many names, this area. As I say, Heaven, it used to be called High Ground. Backflip, you call it as well. It's got so many.
I wouldn't call it
X Games,
Hilltop.
I think the Americans call it as well, X Games.
X Games?
Yeah.
Okay, because of the backflips?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice crate. I mean, I don't care what's in it other than the Mark 14. Obviously, you want to happy with the level 3, which is always going to be in there, but the Mark 14 is a beast of a rifle in the current state of the game.
It's probably one of the most favorable guns for most players, I'd say. Everyone wants to get their hands on that one. SLR, really good. MK14, step up.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, right? Because right at the start, it was a gun you sort of get, you're like,
yeah,
not sure. But now it is an absolute beast. Obviously, the single fire is slightly more powerful than the SKS. You've got that auto mode in there, real packs a punch. Besiktas on the rotate, getting lit up a little bit by Accelerate. Looks like trying to take some shots on them. Knights a little slow to group, I would say. 7 minutes, 20 seconds in. They need to be fully compacted, or at least in a 2-2 split. They are, of course, in their own loot region. So it is often a case of teams get caught out a little too early.
Looking at it, though, we still have a lot of teams that need to rotate in, and most of the teams that is inside the circle already, they're centering up, they're preparing themselves for the next circle.
I'd say it's riskier there. They've gone the 2-2 split, right, but they're using 2 in Mansion. That's a hell of a lot of territory for 2 players to cover. It's a lot of territory for a single team to cover, let alone 2 guys. Of course, there is that corner edge building, but keeping your vehicles safe there could be tricky. Liquid, you can see, they've gone for those 2-2, split in between the houses. Optic want to challenge out for it. Trying to get a location, really. They're in the trees in the woods at the moment, though, so they're fairly safe.
Now, this is a good compound, but the thing is, as you can see, Liquid, they could go out to the forest there, where Optic is coming from, and this is the hard part with that compound. Like, people can get so close and breach you if you're not prepared for it. If you just look away for a split second, that's when they could just come in.
Texas trying to lay down the smack on Ultrastar. Man that spent last weekend in a hospital, so great to see the fact that he's even here himself. Obviously, very much grateful. You wouldn't want to see anyone skipping a LAN. Obviously, if you think back to the PGL many moons ago, looking at the Knights, obviously, so Survivor sadly was ill through that event. We don't want any repeat performances of that. No dodgy kebabs being eaten in Stockholm, please.
Well, we did serve some kebab last finals.
We're all good, though. We're all good. No one caught any food poisoning in this event. As I say, look at the Knights. That is a lot of territory to cover.
I mean, they used to play greedy like that. They want to take the map control. It looks like it.
His teammate was following behind in the vehicle, and he ended up shooting his teammate's UAC. But Pin's going to finish off. First blood will go down. Unfortunately, it's Tumai from Wildcard, a team that struggled yesterday to find a performance. They kept running into Envy and basically taking players off themselves. And there's nothing worse than going into even phase 1, let alone phase 2, 3, 4. You want to keep 3, 4 men alive as much as you can. Losing someone in the very first rotation is a kicker. And look, you can see what it's all happening. It's all on this southern tip, right? There's 3 teams stacked up.
I mean, I'm not sure what they're doing, all the teams over there. Why would you, like, go there to rotate? You can rotate anywhere, more or less.
Yeah, I think they were just so late, right? Because I think of the playing path, it took them all so long. So they're all looking to play edge. But the problem is they're all coming in at the same time. They've all gone for that same strategy. NIP very late on the rotate, by the way. Obviously knowing that Red Diamonds, who are way down on the south, were obviously in the same town as them. So they're a little later on the looting. Envious coming over the east bridge here as well. Red Diamonds being found out there. It looks like Aduzian standing, picking some shots off in him. And you can see Sid will go down as Envy make what is a very safe journey across. As we said, there was no one in Milta.
Yeah.
Milta Power, of course, was where FaZe was. Elga Ganton's the nearest, but they were in and around way over on the western strategy, so they've only just sort of come in themselves.
I like what the NRP is doing. So they knew that they were surrounded, right? So they wanted to go late. They want to come in just when Circle 2 pops. That's when they want to make a move, and they're going to be in their vehicles and driving at the same time, so they can be the first one to get a good position.
Yeah, you need to jet bail out and do something there. Keep yourself healed up. Best of luck. That flip in the vehicle, also getting tagged up. Didn't see who was trying to light him up there. Should be safe, though. Looks like Unique have got all 4 players back in their vehicles and making their way across. So everybody's still in the blue, by the way, these guys. Still in the blue. Lot of late reaction. That's all down to the fact the plane, it kind of took that northern route. Stalba to Gatcat. Caused a lot of problems for southern teams.
Look at Vanguard. They're all up there towards Stalba right now, all by themselves. No one's up there at all, so no one's going to contest them. And hopefully they get this crate there. You got a ghillie suit. It's
a tricky position. No, it's actually a sheer cliff almost down there as well. So not too sure whether they'll find that one. NIP also coming in late. Going to be arriving very, very late, knowing that the northern side was fairly occupied. They're kind of looking to go, Rozhok way, down the south. And that may actually run them into wildcard as the circle will contract. Phase 2 kind of centering up away from the water. We expected that. Liquid, they were in 2-2 split, trying to get across here. Mexi lighting up as much as he can onto Ibiza. Ibiza's going to get away safe, though. Jeems also passing by, should be relatively safe, but they always got into this tree. They're trying to go for that dip, right? They want to get to the NIP dip. It's not going to work out. E United kind of beat them to it, but Taylor J forced away from it. Going to have to go for prison wall, but will he be able to get there in time? He's down to nothing, but looks like he's survived and got into prison.
Now, that was a really good play there from Liquid. They stopped and made sure they took time to get there. Don't just crash something and you might just lose players on that. Look at that, they're going back actually. Champion's empty.
So that's interesting. Look at Mansion. Obviously the Knights were here originally with a 2-2. Optic has taken the northern point. Dignitas on that southern edge building that I was talking about earlier, and Samty gone for the 2 there. Knights who were there have kind of also left where FaZe are now. Knights were in that spot as well. They had this 2-2 and they've chosen to go towards that hill compound, which actually is very strong. And very hard to approach.
It is one of the strongest compounds in this circle, I'd say. Again, you get the high ground so you can see a lot. Also, it's really easy to cover more or less all around it. It would be the north part towards the other compound that is just next to it. But if you can have 1 or 2 guys down there as well, you're going to be good.
Mustamar, the man that landed a killer Car 98 shot during the weekly qualifiers. Fantastic stuff. Dignitas and Liquid, you can see trading blows. E United going on for that wall edge along with Elga Ganton, and Team Ready almost taking up the Harry Potter on the edge of the prison. So prison very clustered at the moment. Of course, you don't want to be inside prison area because you're basically a turkey shoot for everyone in and around you as the blue circle continues to shrink in. Look at that. 3 teams all around the edge. It's tricky as well, right? Because there's only 2 members of Team Ready. They've had a struggling performance themselves. Elga Ganton have done very well, actually. They're pretty much staying standard. FaZe, standard building for them. They're always going for either that. Where United is right now and FaZe, they're kind of like, they're the two spots that they'll always be in and around. It's a very easy rotate for them, of course. Whereas Avangard, they've had to come all the way around the north, from North Georgia Pole, and reach this. They're being playing edge, and it's something, actually, edge strategy is what Avangard seem to be ploying towards, both here and on Miramar.
I mean, they just don't want to be in a part of like the whole cluster in the center. And it's pretty good because then they can save all their stuff for the late game. All the utilities, the armors, the helmets, they're making sure that they are ready for the end fight when everybody else is weakened. That's when they can succeed really good.
Double crate setup from Envious, we just saw there on the coastal road. Of course, they got Unique and Red Diamonds, both to the south of them, in and around Milta Owl. Seems again a couple of peaks towards Envious in the distance there from Besiktas playing the hill edge. Actually, a favorable spot of NIP here as Simsy takes a DMR shot and that loses his helmet.
That was a really smart repark there by Envy. So instead of sacrificing the tires of both the vehicles, they put one in front of the other to save the back one so they have an escape vehicle when they need to use it.
Avangard just moving south. They've got themselves in towards that coastal compound now. As Unique just trying to get a little peek towards Red Diamonds and the Yellows. Can't really see them. We can see Hello Sampai actually up on the hillside there. That's what it is. I am reliably informed, by the way. This is Mr. Bitar or something like that. It actually means Mr. Elite or something like that.
Yeah.
In thing. Obviously, us Westerners like to refer to it as something else.
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know. He's good at baiting shots, I believe.
All right.
It is what it is. But actually, yeah, that's apparently what it's called. He doesn't like being called the other one, apparently. But
yeah.
Maybe should probably think of renaming himself.
So Halsepai is actually going to join them down there because they're going to need to rotate soon. It was really good to have him up there because he could gather a lot of information from the high ground, but also making sure nobody could push them from there.
Okay, interesting circle. Okay, so this is phase 3, right? It's centered up. We know phase 4 is going to pull away from water. So where FaZe are, where Knights are right now, are pretty much the central spots of the next circle. It could, of course, go north-south. Either way, swing of it, but they know they're going to be safe in that circle. Accelerate, pushing in on Optic here. But Hawaka gets a peek around the side, but loses his face for it as Mikas and Trifoli move on in there. Hetero suddenly finds himself alone. Optic coming in support. You can see Hypoc and Valiant coming in to try and help out. This is actually a very open compound for Accelerate to try and push in, so it's dangerous for them to try and push Hetero on the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, it was badly held by Optic there. They should have more people here. They should be expecting people to come in and try to take this compound from them. Having 2 in the forest won't do any good.
Hypoc trying to find some shots through that smoke. Valiant going for that flanking. Hetero just holding the angle, giving the support call. I need help. Molly's being tossed up there, Nade's being tossed up there, but I think Accelerator maybe realized this is tricky. Oh. That is a great nade, coming straight around the back. How did the table block that? I don't even know. Rustamar gets down, and meanwhile down the stairs, Valiant's little flank is working well. They're going to have to smoke that one out as Mikas and Trifoli try and hold out while Optic are pushing in. Look at this. Optic are going for it. This is the American aggression we're used to. Hetero getting a peek over the edge of the window. That nade coming in around the side may catch out on Trifoli, I don't know. Looks like there's more smokes going through as they push in. Valiant, ears ringing as he peeks around the side.
Now, Accelerate, they're getting pushed together now, and they might just, it might be really bad for him, but look at that, frag come in.
He got caught
Valiant was cooking as well.
He's going to get caught out. Hetero getting pushed down as well. Trifoli moving up. This has worked out so well for Accelerate in the end now. Hypoc's going to try and bail out. Oh, no, he couldn't get on the roof. He's just going to have to get out of there, use that smoke to finish his...
block the vision from the other team so he can move into the forest and try to move into
the north.
Look at the northwest side here.
NIP and Wildcard both moving in together. Fuzzface actually getting down by Voxic meanwhile. That was over on the east side of the map as Vard also gets down. They were coming into the back side of Wildcard. It's a tricky move. NIP, they were looking to try and get it sneaking on the edge of this little swamp ground area, but they didn't expect to run into Wildcard. That's horrible territory to fight in.
I mean, no one is capitalizing the beach right now, the beach side, the east side of the circle. You can make a move from there.
Unique pushing down on Elga Ganton on the prison wall. They've got no choice. They have to come down that way as they try and work their way down. Nade's pushing forward. Now, this is, as we said, we've seen this fight play out so often. FaZe Clan often used to hold this territory. and they've held it well. The question is, how have Elga Ganton been looking at those VODs, looking at how FaZe play it? That nade's looking good standing. Should be able to dodge around the side there as they toss the nades down. They're catching out there. Meanwhile, Liquid also looking in the kill field. Dignitas engaging on them. Gemty and Jeans both being down by a single nade, while Unique look to try and surround Elga Ganton. The Vector in action from standing, working well. Hookster and Vac both down. We're also seeing Indy going down. Liquid wiped out in 16th place. That's the 4th place team's going down to Dignitas. Dignitas had a horrible day yesterday, but Elga Ganton will follow them here as we watch Unique wipe them out on the prison wall.
I mean, still, they're not inside there. They're barely inside on the edge of the circle there. It's not a great position. If you don't have the vehicles from there, it's going to be rough for the next rotation.
A doozy downing his teammate there. I think just a follow-on. Gaxi trying to move through, and you can see Dignitas. That's where they stormed. They were sharing the mansion area. Dignitas have pushed in and taken it and not lost a single man while wiping out Liquid. That's impressive.
That's really impressive. Really good play. We didn't catch that though, but here comes the next circle. And look at that. It's going to go, as you said, where Besiktas is. They are pretty much center on this circle. And we got so many teams on the northwest side. It's going to be really packed there. FaZe, though, they got the yellow houses. They might be able to hold out everyone together with Knights on the north side there.
I would like to see Knights probably join together as a team now. Holding those two compounds while they are close to each other in a 2-2 is pretty dangerous from this position, I would feel.
But at the same time, you don't want to let people onto the north side compound.
Because then your back's exposed,
exactly.
Right?
So you want to do the split for now and make sure that you just scare people away. And I mean, they're going to get some help from the FaZe guys as well. So they need to focus on the north side.
Envy are pushing it. Look at this. Interrogating pack caps, both moving very close to Besiktas. They've come from the crates area. Meanwhile, Besiktas are backing away along the hillside. They've got this Simsy support from the edge of Lipovka here, just trying to give as much as cover as they can. Meanwhile, NIP still with 3 alive, I feel. I think Wildcards may have got pressured and wiped a little bit. I'm not so sure what they're down to. Pride's got 2 in the car with him. Meanwhile, Team Ready, wow, they're exposed. Team Unique coming down the hillside, have full vision of them here.
I mean, you saw the circle. It's not by the beach, really, but no teams actually capitalized the east side beach and Lipovka. They could have used that and then move in further on in this circle.
It looks like Wildcard have basically ran straight into Avantgarde. They've gone down in 14th place. It is still not their day. Team Ready got Dignitas pushing from the north. They've got Unique on the south. They really don't have anywhere to go here as Purdy Curdy is going to pressure them down. And you can see Unique, they're actually exchanging blows with FaZe Clan at the moment as well, obviously holding that compound. NIP trying to move around with the blue on their back. Dignitas watching their every move. Adam and Alo going to be slow to move out at the edge of mansion.
This is a really rough circle. There's so much open space to it. There is a few compounds and shacks inside, of course, but all of them are already occupied. And most of the teams have lost the vehicles in their earlier fights.
Well, FaZe Clan safe so far. You can see they're holding as much as the edge as they can. Dignitas trying to take up that shack. Adam trying to send it past there. I think 2 on that vehicle as well. They are. It's Alo and Adam both in that vehicle trying to get away from what they can, looking towards that little rock area. Adam has been picked off in the end there by Uber, and Halo popping as much smoke as they can to try and save themselves, but you can see they're basically running straight into Team Ready.
Yeah, they're getting pinned down here. They have nowhere to go. It's a really bad ground for them to play from. I mean, the best thing they have right now is the shack. It is inside. They just need to survive for this circle and make sure that they can do something, maybe just snake in the next one.
Team Unique have gone for a full split. You can see Aduzi on his own there. Play With Me has gone full off to the eastern side as well. A single nade here, if you had one, would really put an end to Team Ready. We can see they're all clustered together. Really is about where this next phase will go. 40 seconds, you can see it closing in. Red Diamonds, by the way, who lost a player early on to Team Unique, are in the better position right now. We can see Optic, of course, with the solo player. Hypoc got himself into Lipovka. But you've got to feel with Accelerate in that one solo position for Squeaky, can the rest of his team, if it centers up here, which it may well do, they could send it in safely because they know that spot is clean.
That spot is really open and exposed, though. The thing is that Squeaky is just proning on the ground, and whenever any team will peek over there, they will get shot from other teams.
Ubert trying to get a couple of shots on Uncivil. You see just trying to squeak an angle there. Nice work from Ubert, just getting a pre-fire on it. Doesn't quite catch him. Iro down by Alo. As, well, Team Ready, they're just in a horrible, horrible position here. Not a lot they can do. It's being lit up. It actually Well, it doesn't quite center. It does center for Squeaky, of course, as we were talking about, Accelerate. But he is exposed, as you mentioned. Grenades coming in. That is going to be Sixmo picking up a kill for Team Ready there. As the maybe the 8th kill, I think, for Team Ready. They've had a torrid day in day 1, and looks like it's not going their way in day 2 either. Dignitas were also a team struggling for kills, but of course they've wiped out Team Liquid already in this round. Team Ready are going to have to move it. You can see they're going for it. Sixmo trying to blast his way through. Iroh catches Vegas. That's going to be a simple shot to the building as they move forward, as Uncivil also finds MBS.
This is really rough. I'm not really sure where the play should be playing from. You kind of want to crash a compound. Try to capitalize on that. You need to take something. You can't just rotate out in the open. That's not going to help you. You got to give it all now. Try to just crash something.
The Knights and NIP clashing in the north, though, of course, all having to squeeze in. FaZe Clan still sitting pretty in their compound inside the circle. The Knights chose to take this ground. It is a strong compound, but they have to make a move. They've got to Accelerate to the east of them, NIP to the west as they try and move down. Meanwhile, Caden, he's lighting up. That's Red Diamonds being picked apart down on the south. Optic has finally been found out. Of course, Hypuck was on his own in Lipovka. He goes down as Avangard make their way out from the east, and they have to move into the circle.
Besiktas actually have a not too bad position there on the east side of the circle. They do have Sims here. He's going to join them from Lipovka.
Accelerator just got picked apart. We know that obviously Squeak is the solo man in there, thriftily trying to get the revive off. Vanguard moving in and taking names. Meanwhile, the Knights, they're on the move. Uber does get Uncivil knocked again. Unoptive actually going down to the play zone, so they need to move a little bit quicker.
And here comes the circle. Oh, Gaxi, nice shots.
Gets a little peek. Kramer going for it. Drayden with him. So they move in with the buggies. Voxic should be able to get this. Is he going to smoke? He's not even going to smoke it. Not even going to smoke it. They're going risky. Gaxi gets picked off. Mexi finds him. FaZe Clan, of course, still holding that compound. Accelerate down to 1 as Squeaky looks like he's the last man standing for them. As Avangard now engaged with the Red Diamonds and onto Besiktas as they keep on pushing through. You can see Asvern trying to push up the hill. Snoopy has been down. Ultrastar with next to nothing. Quickly getting that med off and backing away. Looks backing him up. Snoopy gets taken down as they try and retreat a little bit from these trees.
Ultra was down to no meds as well, so they need to finish this fight as quick as possible. They need to just finish off Amiga. Hold them out. The blue is pushing them, so they can just take it easy now.
Easy shot there. Asvern pushing up with an aid in hand. He gets taken down. Looks is just going to back away from that grenade. Should be safe. Oh, he's gone too far. He backed into it. Milmax Sizer takes him down, gets himself a kill on the row. As in the end, Avangard will go down. 9th place for them. The Knights catching them on the back there. Team Ready losing Iroh. That's way down south, of course. FaZe Clan finally have to move out of their compound, and is looking great for the boys from E United, still holding them yellows, and they have the compound still in them. Envy, meanwhile, were given a care package. They've got themselves a couple of level 3 items, and Interrogate, you can see Besiktas heading straight towards him. Looks around the side. He's going to be the man. That nade. Oh, that could be so good. Interrogate. Let's see. It's going to get tossed out. Oh, it's going to go to the tree. They've actually not pushed up to the tree yet, so they've almost got a 6th sense and stopped before it. Meanwhile, Mecklenburg also, Team Ready, losing another. Sixmo had sent it early on and got into that center along with Squeaky, so they're safe for now, which may well give them positional advantage as they try and move into position. But FaZe Clan are on the move from the north. Alo has to get his butt moving on that western edge, and the Knights, with 4 players alive, sweeping behind Besiktas. They're going to get sandwiched between Envy and Knights.
Well, Knights here, they found all these vehicles. They could just move in a little bit with them as well, clearing a little bit of ground. But look at this, though. Ultra.
Ultrastar sees one, sees another, tries to lie him down. This AKM from the ground is doing work, switches across, tries to get a few on Texas, but not going to work out. Finally, the little snakes in the grass get down, but Envy, of course, well aware of what is going on to the north of them.
Yeah, they hear all the shots and they know that their Knights are up there right now, and they're going to be focused on that. Caden, I'm not sure he should stay on that side of the road. He might need to get up with the others so they can get a stronger force.
7th place for Dignitas as Alo gets found. Sixmo and Squeaky, you can see, have FaZe Clan basically tripping over the back of Squeaky. You got to feel that Uber, he's staring right next to him. Got to look towards it, and I think a surprise factor is going to be like, what? There's a guy right here. Uber will find him. Squeaky goes down, Accelerate, get themselves 6th place. Sixmo, of course, safe. He's the other side of the hill, so it's really down to Envy and E United to find him.
Yeah, and look at this. Knights is really strong right now. 4 guys up. But at the same time, they might just get picked off by Envious in the back soon.
Yeah, you got to feel that Knights are either going to clash with FaZe or they're going to get caught by Envy. Either way, E United while they're safe in the compound, if it pulls away from that compound now, there is a flanking hill between them and Envy, so they're safe that side. But FaZe Clan, if they peek over the brow of that hill, will have clean vision of them. And obviously they may well be, well, almost certainly will be aware that somebody is going to be in that house. I like the smokes. They're trying to get to the shack here. Texas trying to hold and take as much territory as they can.
Sixmo out, and he's just proning in the center of the circle. He just wants people to go down right now. Taylor J finds Terror, but Pat Caps finds him.
They're making the move. E United trying to take the advantage early. They realize we're going to get pressured in this little compound if we stay here any longer. So they tried to go for it, but it's backfired, as you say. Taylor J getting taken down by Envious, so realizing they need to go north. There he does. It goes away from that compound. Sixmo still in the center with that rock. Might get Team Ready some big points here.
I mean, everybody's more or less going to try to play the edge because that's where it's safe. They have the hills, the ridges to work with. So Sixmo might actually catch himself a second place.
E United, this is what we're talking about. This is a tough push for them because FaZe Clan are going to be so aware that that compound was the only one left in the circle, and there's almost certainly someone coming from it. So they're going to have guns barreled straight towards it. They're aware of the Knights on the left of them as well, and everybody else has to push. You can see Envious, they have to move. They have to go north into the Knights, so it's going to be almost the Knights. Well, they're almost clashing with one another. They could get caught in the back by Envy here.
Yeah, Envy hear the shots. They should be pushing now. They should take this opportunity and do something about it, not just standing here and trying to snipe people. Now people will know that you're here when you start shooting like this.
Yeah, and it's a horrible run. You can see there's a few trees dotted, but not a great deal. So utility is going to be your friend. Meanwhile, Mexi looks towards Pistola Time in the window, tries to get a little snipe, try and find that head, and Pistola Time, well aware of this, has to back away. Circle on their back, still plenty of time before the blue will shrink on them.
But look at it, it's getting really small now, the circle, and everybody gets pushed together. Everything that is left to play with is just that hill and a little bit of tree cover.
Oh, Sixmo, that bike hasn't been exploded yet next to Sixmo, so he's just going to try and edge away from it just in case it does get shot. It almost will give his position away. Someone will expect that rock to be occupied as soon as they see the smoke from that bike. Flashes, smokes, everything tossed out from Pistola Time towards Envious. I think they're feeling this is probably the safest push for them because it's such an exposed run towards where FaZe are. They have to try and squeeze into them, but you can see they're getting caught out. They're Envy, they're just getting sandwiched now. It's the Knights that are collecting the kills out of it. 9 kills and counted for FaZe Clan. E United are going to go and squeak. Did they just catch a glimpse of Mexi? I think they did.
I don't think they saw him. Did they?
I think Vegas did. They've been trading blows, Pistola Time and Mexi a couple of times, so they know someone's on the flank. They just got a glimpse of, I think it's Fuzzface at the hillside there, peeking out the tree. Mexi down low, Packhouse picked off. That's Envy going down as the Knights eliminate them, picking up all the kills as well. 8 for them and 9 for FaZe Clan so far. These are the 2 top teams, and they have 4 players alive. Sixmo gets found. That's a 4th place for them as E United join the final 3, but they look like mere spectators as Mexi sprays down one. He's going to get finished off here, I think, by E United as well. As Pistola Time gets down. FaZe Clan trying to push, and Knights are taking this as an advantage. They're pushing on the tree. Uber's going to go to peek around any second now. Gets himself a glimpse, but he doesn't get the frag down. FaZe meanwhile with the nade gets a double onto the back of them. FaZe's back line is falling now as 80 gets pressured now. Pistola Time gets down. E United down to 1 as FaZe Clan go for the aggression, and it's caught out. The Knights read the situation so well to push on FaZe Clan the moment they engaged with E United.
This is the Knights we love to see. They just capitalize on everything. They just go ham. They're killing everybody.
A one-on-one. Fuzzface versus Geis is really the difference between 2nd or 3rd right now as Texas looks to play spoiler. Knights took the initiative so well, and look at that. They hold the entire ground. There's no way anyone but Knights are going to take chicken dinner here in game number 1 of the day. It's all about, will Fuzzface come out on top or will it be Geis?
I love how Knights is playing right now. They got 3 in the top in the north there, and then you have Texas running around. He's a little bait there. As soon as someone starts shoot at him, they'll know where they are. And all Fuzzface and Geis is doing, they're just trying to find each other. They want to finish off the other one to make sure they get the highest placement.
And they're both outside the circle, more importantly. Remember, Fuzzface, the highest fragger so far. He's going to be on 18 now with the 3 he's got here. Flashbang's going out. He's going to try and take the aggression. The 1v1 champion, remember, Fuzzface in North America. Oh, but he's got caught out. He looked to the left. The second the Knights fired, it drew his attention to the left. And Geis is just saying, thank you very much. The little little snake in the grass will get himself a second place for E United, but it's the Knights, of course, with a great chicken dinner. So well read the situation to take the aggression to FaZe Clan the moment they engaged with E United was absolutely perfectly played. They also dealt with Envious as well, remember, on the side.
I mean, Knights, they played that perfectly throughout the whole game. We saw in the beginning, they were in the center of the first circle, of course, but they took the hilltop and they held that for themselves. And then they pushed out. When they got pushed out, make sure they played together. They used the map itself, got rid of Envious, as you talked about. And I mean, in the end, they were just going ham throughout the whole time.
Fantastic stuff, of course. We have the man with the mustache, the level 2 sub himself, Mustache Dave, ready with the Knights.
Hey, what's up? We're live here, down here on the floor in the stage. I'm with the winner chicken dinners, the Knights over here, winning game 1 yesterday, winning game 2 today. I mean, what's the strategy?
You know, it's the normal thing, nothing special. We got some lucky circles, and yeah, it was not much to say.
I mean, 15 kills yesterday, right, in your chicken dinner, 12 today. So, I mean, when you guys do win, it's like high frag kill count.
Yeah, we managed the third party a lot, and as I said, lucky zones, and it worked out well for us.
So, I mean, you got a couple lucky zones you mentioned. Well, was there any point in that game, though, that you guys were just kind of uncertain?
No, I wouldn't say so, no.
Not at all, just full of confidence.
Yeah, everything was clear, and we know what to do, yeah.
All right, so I was at the lounge stream, and Toby, the name is Toby, he wanted me to ask you guys if you won, if there is like a pattern. Hopefully there's not, but from yesterday, you guys won the first game yesterday, and then, you know what I'm saying, the second game you guys went out really early on.
Yeah, no.
This is Toby's question, not mine.
Yeah, no, we talked a lot about the mistakes yesterday, and I don't think they're going to repeat themselves again.
What mistakes were happening yesterday then?
Some of it was getting picked off, and some games we had really bad rotations. Yeah, that's about it. And we really watched the bots, and we're going to focus on not doing them again, so I think we're good.
All right, so you're going to focus on kind of the mistakes from yesterday, coming in today. I mean, getting the first chicken dinner. So we got 4 more games to go. How many chickens you guys going to be eating?
We'll get another one.
Another one?
Yeah.
And why'd you run away from me earlier? You were hiding?
No, I went to a quick toilet, you know. Toilet was calling for me.
All
so.
right, that's not what your coach said. There's your coach right there.
Yeah, he's a douche.
Oh, what? They didn't hear you.
He's a douche.
He's a douche. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. All right, well, that's the Knights down here getting their first chicken dinner. Let's see what the desk has to say. Frankie.
I have never seen a PUBG pro blush nearly as much as poor Dre. Top work by Mustache Dave. And what a finish by the Knights Avenger.
Yeah.
Let's face it, that the first mission with them, either one of the face United, Knights, just instantly, we can hear them here on the stage saying, push, push, push. They just knew that they had to third party that fight because you have a 10-second window of opportunity.
Scoom, how do you think it feels to be Fuzzface right now? Because he messed that up. We were convinced that he was going to take down Geist, and it didn't happen, did it?
Yeah, I mean, he had to push through the smoke. Obviously, in the spectator, couldn't see how much of the smoke was left because it's a little bit of the delay. He had a good idea, though. He knew that Knights were 4 guys. He knew that he had to kill guys to come second place, and he didn't want to wait for the opportunity, so he took it in his own hands, threw the flashbang. Unfortunately, I think one of the Knights shot and distracted him a little bit, and Geist ended up winning the 1v1.
I think Geist deployed the smoke, and,
yeah, he
Geist did a smart
yes.
play. Instead of smoking himself, which is relatively common at that point, he deployed it towards Fuzzface to act as a screen, but also he figured the second the smoke comes out, Knights have know exactly where to throw their grenades. So his goal was to maybe draw Fuzzface into a death zone and then find out where he is. And that's what happened. Fuzz went in, checked the smoke, and sort of listened, I think. And then when he popped out the other side, Geist was waiting for him. So it was a smart play by Geist to sort of draw that out and guarantee second. In a situation like that, in a 4v1v1, you know 99%, unless you're Wick, you're not coming out with the win on this one, right? So you need to just try to guarantee yourself second place.
Toffees, you must be feeling quite proud of United as well, because you're kind of like their sponsor here at GLL, and they've not let you down, have they? Yesterday was clearly not a fluke with that chicken dinner at the end of the day.
You know, they got a chicken dinner. I thought they did pretty well yesterday. They came in this morning, and actually Taylor J in Vegas came over and said, sorry we let you down yesterday, Toffees. We promise we're going to do better today. And I was like, you guys got a chicken dinner. Like, you won 1 out of 5 games. I am far from unhappy with your performance, but I think that they are taking sort of their position as sort of the lead of the North American teams as a requirement to carry a torch. And I'm really glad to see that even though they didn't get the chicken dinner this time, they seem to really be stepping up their game.
Absolutely.
Scoom, I do want to ask you actually, Toffees just mentioned about NA United, the most inexperienced team potentially of all the NA teams, leading the pack in terms of on LAN anyway, I should clarify. While Optic losing another fight they should not be losing in that compound against Accelerate. Why are they messing up so much?
I think it was not a mess up of Optic. It's more like Accelerate being on the same page on that push on the J compound on the northern side of that circle. They just were on point. They probably realized an open for opportunity to push, and they might have seen Optic a little bit split on the compound, and they just charged in and they just won the fight. Because as soon as you take one down, it becomes a 4v3, and you're already taken over the compound. It becomes really hard for Optic to come back from that.
I mean, not to hit on them too hard. They even had the help of a 5th man in the form of the table saving Hedgeroar's life.
Yeah, that table saved the nade.
It saved big time. And then I think Valiant was trying to find a flank position, and I think he just maybe made a movement at the wrong time. They saw him, and once Val went down, sort of trying to get that flank, and they knew the other Optic player was in the house, not the 2-story, whatever you want to call it, Tootsie Roll or whatever you want to call that, that building. They just pushed up the stairs very, very cleanly and wiped them out. So it was really great play on that side. Optic, a couple little mistakes that cost them. And that's been sort of the story of their tournament so far.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. It can happen. You can make small mistakes and it just like tumbles from game to game to game. They just have to reset and just take the time, maybe play more as a team, play more together instead of splitting up a bit.
I agree.
Well, we talked about the good. We talked about maybe not as bad as I made out, but we maybe should move on to the ugly. And I'm not talking about Avenger who's setting up for his weatherman report in a second. I am talking about Ninjas in Pajamas. I love them very much, Toffees, but they're failing to launch here.
I mean, at the end of the day, you could say, where's Ninjas in Pajamas right now? And my answer is, I don't know. That rotation in the last game was reminiscent of a Season 1 TSM sort of rotation. This leaving the city very late, driving in the blue for 2 circles, using the edge. And in the current meta, with the way the rotations are working in the middle, that's just, you just can't hang with that right now. And that's what we saw. They came late on that rotation to try and go up around the swamp, and just one by one, they got picked off. And I don't know what Ninjas can do to fix that, other than they've got one of the best loot spots in the game. Get loot and just go and get out of there early.
Martin.
Yes.
You look like you are ready to get your hands on that screen. What have you got to show us?
Yeah, but I want to talk about a bit about the end game here, especially when I believe this is the 4th circle that popped. And especially you, Toffees, you said this, that you don't know where Ninjas are, but I'll tell you where Ninjas are. They're in the wrong position here.
Yeah.
They're in the north of the mansion. And as soon as the 4th circle pop, even in the 3rd circle, you should not be edging here. You should be in a position where you're ready to push into a position where you can dump your cars and then start pushing. Knights, they were already here in this area. FaZe, they took this early. They had a 2-2 split going where Enid's compound was. But Knights took this very early. They like playing this compound in these eastern circles, and then they pushed in late. Let's start it here in a bit of a faster fight here. But all these teams that are edging, and all these teams that are coming in late, we saw Accelerate Gaming, they actually came in and then pushed in one guy to the center. Especially, I want to say, Besiktas, they played extremely well with this split coming out of Lipovka and then pushing onto the hill, making sure that their backs was clear. Unfortunately, they lost the fight. Avanga came out and pushed onto them, and then Knights, they third-partied that fight. So Knights actually, for their win, they actually third-partied 3 fights before they took the win. Let's speed it up a little bit here. So the Knights, they saw the circle pop away from them, and then they made sure that their backs was clear. Next circle pop in, and then they start pushing into this area around here behind Besiktas and third-party that fight, making sure that nobody from the north can get in. Nip got eliminated, 2 of the Accelerate players got eliminated, and then especially here in the end here where they, especially here in the end when they, let's make it a bit bigger so everybody can see, where they third-partied the fight here. So they cleared up the north and make sure that they got a lot of kills from there and make sure that their backs was clear so they could focus on the front. And that's why they third-partied Besiktas, and they eliminated or helped to eliminate Envy as well. So their push and they're kind of there making sure that their backs are clear and pushing only forward, and their third party kind of waiting for the circles to get ready for them is really playbook potential here.
By the book, baby.
Yeah, by the book. Yeah,
Just
exactly.
being proactive is one of the main things. Third partying is so crucial to win games.
Exactly. And right here where we missed it a little bit towards the end here, where it was, I think it was Frostface that saw United. And when they initiate that fight, you can just see instantly that Knights, they start moving here. Mexi initiates the fight, and then you see Knights moving instantly. They just push over, take over the face guys, and then they wait and just control the circle. So really playbook play here from them. Super well played from them.
Well, let's take a look at the overall scores on the doors from that last round. I'm curious actually to see the kill count from Knights, because I missed that at the end of that
12.
game. 12.
12.
Really
And
impressive.
Knights not only wins, they win big, and they win apparently the first game of the day. Second day in a row.
Yeah.
You keep doing that, you're going to be at the top. Great job. But FaZe Clan, 11 kills.
It's the story of the tournament.
Yeah, man.
Just getting kills over and over again.
It's absolutely insane. They've been extremely consistent in their placements, but getting the kills on top of that, I think that's what's going to win them the tournament.
Yeah.
And then E United and Envy next 3 and 4. It's funny to me in this placement because they almost played. They fought each other, but they played almost as one team for a long time.
Yeah.
They sort of held those ancillary positions to each other.
Too passive, in my opinion.
I agree. I think that E United pushed Envy at one point, and they backed off and they lost Taylor J. That can't happen. You need to just commit to that push, because the spot Envy had, knowing that the red houses behind you are empty, guarantees you have a higher chance of winning that game.
With the leaderboard
And we can see the impact on the leaderboard.
Wow.
FaZe Clan, very, very confident. The top 52 kills in a matter of 6 games. So Team Unique are going to have to get their frag on. And the next one, if they want to keep their distance over teams like the Knights, who are really, really confident going into day 2. Dignitas thought they were going to show up. Maybe hold on in that round. Maybe they're getting warmed up. Game 7, might see more from them, Martin.
From 4th, I just want to point out, from 4th to 10th is less than 400 points.
Yeah.
It's still extremely close in that middle pack. Those 6 and 7 teams that are laying in that middle pack, they can easily jump up. With one good game, they can easily jump up to the top of the leaderboard.
Well, let's see what happens, because we need to take a quick break, but do not skedaddle, because we've got game number 7, our second game of day 2 here at GLL, coming up after the break.
No one.
I'm taking this factory.
Yeah.
Get ready?
Yep. I'm nading it. He got him. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, on the road, let's go.
Yeah. Nice, perfect.
He's
Good
gonna
job,
deny
boys.
points, I think. He's gonna deny
Yeah,
points.
try it. Throw nades. Push in blue.
Let's go.
Yeah. Good job.
Good job, guys. How many kills?
5.
2.
12.